Well, there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Explorers Expresso. Let me bring that down. There we go. Dan, I should probably mute myself because I'm hearing myself talk. There we go. Mute myself down there. Happy Thirsty Thursday. I've got a couple of these from our friends at Hawks. Right there we go. There we go. I got two of these Ex- Explorers drinks here. One for now and one for later, which trust me, last night I needed one for now and one for later. Dan Vaughn with you. Glad you're along here on the show. It is your show. I'm trying to get the highlights to load, and for some reason they're taking their sweet time. So let me try them again here. Don't know why they're taking their sweet time, but let's try it again and see if they will load in for me. If not, I'll do it another way. But I've got two things to show you. First off, I've got the highlight montage from last night, which again, not wanting to load. So let's just play them in a moment. I've also got a secondary video highlight, which is pretty quick. And it's pretty much, I'm going to call it doing Solomon things. Solomon does what Solomon does. That's strike out and dominate. And he did that last night. And I'll show you his performance in about a 15 seconds clip that our crew clipped up next door. Really good stuff. Let me go ahead and get to that in a moment. But first off, let's recap what happened last night. The doubleheader is a tricky mate. It's one of those. The doubleheader is the guy that maybe the gal you invite to the party, and you're kind of thinking, okay, if they show up in a good mood and they're the life of the party, it could be the best party ever, right? Or they show up and perhaps had a few too many, and they could be the worst party guest ever, right? I mean, it's sort of like, or most of the time they're neither the worst or the best. They just add to the party, right? That's a doubleheader. It's a great dilemma in our game because you play you play sevens, right? You get two inning ball games, so there's that. Okay, well that sounds good. All I'm gonna do is pitch 7 innings of good baseball and score a run, and we're good. Yeah, that's true. Also, you can fall behind early, and you're trailing, and you have those final extra 6 outs that you need to get 27. You don't get those, and you wind up, maybe a comeback. You get down 5-0. Your comeback comes in the 6th inning. You get 3 runs, and it's all she wrote. Or 7th inning, it's all she wrote. You don't get those. Your chip away theory is cut in half. So there's that. And really, the doubleheader is with the way it went last night. You had 2 really fine outings. Really, both teams had good outings. I mean, Winnipeg, they didn't have a bad outing either. It was got away from him a little bit later, but he was amazing, and he was very amazing last night, Ron. There's no doubt about it. It's going to pop up on the screen there in a moment. He was amazing. Got some talent that throwing the ball. He does. A great kid, too. Just a phenomenal guy, great explorer. Great story. Fine young man. Really personable. But, that the doubleheader is tricky, okay? And no fans and buts about it, but it worked out for you. Both, Winnipeg, if another team's had worse luck than you, it's probably Winnipeg, although I would tell you, Winnipeg optically has not looked nearly as good as you have optically, and that includes having Max Murphy, a perennial MVP candidate in this league, in the right field for them. You've looked much better, I think. You've had much better. You've had some really, really good success against some really upper echelon teams. More on that in a moment. Coming opportunity here. Winnipeg, though, now has the most, along with you, the most one-run losses in the league. That's 11. And that came last night in game 1, a 3-2 win. That ball game, not a lot of highlights there because it's kind of a nickel and dime effect. You had the, you got the ground ball RBI. You got another ground ball RBI, which really was more of a pop fly RBI. You got the late run to grab the lead on the Daniel Perez RBI single. And it was all really Rafael Jimenez getting aboard 3 times in the leadoff spot. once by hit by pitch, 2 by singles, and his spot scoring 3 of the runs that you scored, only 3. So, that sort of shows you what the doubleheader can be like. Doubleheaders are those deals where really weird things happen. You get 7-inning no-hitters. You get combined no-hitters. You get some weird things have happened. I've seen things like walk-off no-hitters happen. I've seen a team trailing 1-0 who had not a hit walk off a game. I mean, I've seen that happen. And these 7-inning ball games are tricky, but you got game 1, 3-2. Austin Drury was 2 outs away from going the distance. He got a lead off by 1-out walk. And so Sean Rakowski came in and did his job and notched the save. Bullpen only worked the 2/3 last night. Salmon does what Salmon does in game 2. That's goes 7 innings, adding another, 8 strikeouts. Something to the mix. He's now got 83. So he is 103rd, let's see, 132. See, 32 and 17. So he's is that 49? That was more than that. Yeah, 59 away from, is that right? 49 away from the all-time mark for the franchise in a single season. So he's on his way there. But yeah, Salmon was really good last night, and he was awesome. But the recap in game 2, he was greatness. Game 2 last night, basically, it was, you got the offense with the triple from Chase Harris, make it 1-0, and then you wind up getting the home run for Vince Fernandez. He's starting to really warm up. I think we sort of have slept on him a little bit. When we had Nogowski, you kind of forgot what valuable Vince has been. Leads your team in home runs and RBIs, and he's playing pretty good defense too. But a great play in the outfield last night at the wall in game 2. He hits the home run, solo home run, 2-0, and then put away by Delvin Zinn. They make an error, which I'm going to show you the play in a moment. Reminds you of the play in Cleveland we had about a month and a half ago that cost us a ball game perhaps down there when Zach Neri got hit just like that, except he hit him in the head, not the shoulder. And Zinn's 3-run home run puts the thing on ice, 5-0, and Salmon notches a complete ball game. First one of the year for the ball club. So good news right there. And I will bring this down. I appreciate you, Ron, as well. Glad you guys are here. Do fire off your comments. I'd love to hear from you guys and gals and everybody else out there. Perhaps you're like my dog and you can do Twitter as well. I don't know. Let's see here. I'm going to play the highlights, but I got to do them a little differently. Let me try them again one more time. See if they'll load in here and see if the internet is cooperating. But for some reason, it's not wanting to cooperate. Let's try it one more time and see what it'll load for us. It's not even doing it. I don't know what's going on, but I'm having some trouble with that. So let's do this. In lieu of that, let's do this. So I want to show you the highlights from last night. I'll walk you through them for game 2. Game 1 was really, what a lot. It wasn't bad, but it was one of those deals where, all right, hold on here. You'll just bear with me just a moment. We can do this together. We'll do it a little differently here. And here we go. And let's do this. Oh, boy. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Where's my screen? There we go. All right. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this screen with you guys here. And I'm going to put it on the screen now. Here we go. There we go. I hear the highlights from last night. Let me go ahead and press play, and you guys can walk you through it. Here is highlight number 1 here. There we go. Let's go ahead and get the highlights going. As you can see, there's that's a triple off the wall by Chase Harris out in right field. Scoring the run right there, and it makes it 1-0. Here's the Vince Fernandez home run. Fernandez home run to right center field. That was a blast there. Couple plays here. Here's the play for Fernandez and left. At the wall, he leaps and makes the play right there. No problem right there. Nothing at all. Let's see here, folks. And then here we go. That's the play right there. I'm going to rewind that real quick. We want you've seen this before, okay? The shoulder, hit by the shoulder. Sierra is picked off, and then he races for third base. That sets up the home run for Zinn. Here's Delvin there as he hits that home run to left center field. And that makes it 5-0. That's all she wrote. Final out the ball game right here. It's a pop fly to center, and that takes care of that. And the X's go on to the win last night over the Winnipeg Gold Eyes, and good stuff right there. Let me bring this down and bring this down, and we'll get you back to me here. There we go. Yeah, the highlight there, the play that Sierra gets hit. Remember down in Cleveland, which interesting enough, we play tonight, there was the extra inning ball game where Zach Nerrier, it was first and second, 2 outs, if I remember correctly, and Nerrier on a play similar to that, it wasn't a pickoff play. It was a throw from first. It was a ground ball to first, 1 out. Sorry about that. The second for 1, and perhaps back to first base for them a play, but the ball hits Nerrier in the helmet. Remember, it ricochets out in the shallow center. All hands are safe, and they wind up walking off winners. That would remind me a lot of that play, except it wasn't a pickoff play. It was that throw to first base, but that was very similar to that last night. But those are your highlights last night. We call those good news highlights on this show. That was good news last night. So a home run there. So come back here in the broadcast booth with you. A home run there for Zen that pretty much put the game on ice, what was on ice. And then Delvin doing what Delvin did. Good teams coming. Are they pumped like they were? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know as Austin walks behind me. By the way, Austin did a little pregame PA last night. I didn't hear any singing, but he was doing his PA work. Very good work, by the way. Actually, Austin announced the lineups in game 1 last night. How about that? He was rocking it. He was rocking it last night. But, I don't know. My answer is yes and no, okay? Cleveland's really good. I mean, this is a different animal altogether. This is going to go back to the Kansas Cities, the Milwaukees, the Fargos of the world. There's 4 teams in this league right now who appear to be the chalk. And what I mean by that, they appear to be the team that you can just write up on the board as your top 4 in any particular order. Now, Kansas City has the best record, so I kind of reserve that with them, their spot. Then from there, Milwaukee, Cleveland, and Fargo have all been top 4 teams. Then it drops down from there. Chicago is right in the closest probably to the bunch, and so is Lincoln. And that's the spot we occupy for the better part of the season. And we're kind of knocking on the door, trying to, hey, let us back into that mix. We're 4th in the division, right behind Lincoln, but Lincoln's playing really good baseball right now. And yeah, good job, Austin. Josh says, good job, Austin. Austin, walk behind and wave at Josh. Or pose or something. What are you doing? Wave. There he is, folks. Josh says, good job, Austin. He says rubbish, DV, but good job, Austin. No, he didn't say that. I'm kidding. Kidding. Yeah, kidding. Good stuff. Austin did. We also had discovered up here, we have a mate in this press box. It's the press box mouse. And I saw him this morning as well. Austin saw him last night. I saw him this morning. I caught him by surprise. He disappeared. So I don't know where he went, but the press box mouse. I got mouse. All right. Where were we? Oh, yes. Back to the question at hand. I don't think they all woke up this morning going, yeah, we're playing Cleveland. I don't think they woke up this morning going, oh, we're playing Cleveland. I think they woke up this morning going, yeah, let's keep winning. I think that's what they woke up thinking. Again, I haven't seen the team here. That will be here shortly. I haven't seen Steve as well, Montgomery yet. Did talk to him last night. What I think this is, though, and I thought about this morning coming in, is this is a measuring stick. I hadn't mentioned this really. I've been talking more about getting traction in July, getting going in July, having the All-Star break, and finishing strong in July for that August run. I didn't think about it until this morning on the way in. I was actually leaving the drive-thru at Hawks, and I thought, this is more or less a test, right? Because you went down there, you won 1 of 4. You very easily could have won 2, maybe 3. It was a disappointing series down there. You basically have the same group you have here. There's not a lot of, you didn't, granted, John Nagowski went to Mexico. You don't have him. Only thing they lack is they don't have Jose Sermo. But basically, this is the same 2 teams that squared off minus Delano DeShields, that squared off back in May. And I think this will be a great test for the fans. And I think at the end of the day, the ball club, you can win a series here, a 4-game series. You can split a series. I think that's a win. Just playing well, I think, is a win. I think you come in and you've shown you played well against these teams. So I really believe that maybe the players aren't going about it like the fans are. As fans, we're like, yeah, Cleveland's going to be tough. But these guys down the clubhouse are thinking of the big picture. We got to win games. Every game matters. Every game's the next big game up, and they're all stacked together. And I don't think they're going to get too high or too low, but I think, sure, a lot of those guys who look back at that Cleveland series are going to think, we didn't play real well, and we should have probably won some games. They're going to remember that. I don't think it'll be the motivating factor because they're not division bunkmates, but I think it'll still be in the back of their minds. But the biggest thing is this team wants to stack together wins and stack together good performances and try to continue to do the baseball math. I think that's what they want to do. And a couple of guys that I've chatted with the last couple of days have said, we just got to keep getting some wins. Keep getting some wins. And that kind of cures everything, right? And we stopped talking about one-run losses when you win one-run wins, right? We haven't mentioned that except for once, and it was about Winnipeg today. Because you got a one-run win yesterday, finally, a 6-1 one-run win. Hadn't had many of those. You're 5-11. Got you one. Some of these things we talk about go away when you start winning some series, start stacking those series together. The good news is, outside of the series in Lincoln, you have won now 3 of your last 4 series. You lost the 2 against Lincoln, but you beat Kansas City, you beat Fargo, 4. You beat Sioux Falls, and you beat Winnipeg. That's 4-5. That, to me, is going the right direction. Now, this is going to be a challenge here. You win this one, I think you could probably say, okay, we're on the right track. So I think from a fan's perspective, from a collective, as you look at it from afar, I think you're probably, that's what we think of. It's a big test. It's a test. And it won't be easy. This team, Cleveland, will hit the ball a lot. They are just a club that goes nuts to the plate. But here's the but for you. I mentioned this a little bit last night, just briefly in the postgame. This reminds me a lot of the Kansas City series in a sense that you have a very similar offense and a very similar pitching staff you're facing. The difference in the two teams, Cleveland and Kansas City, is Kansas City's pitching staff's much better, I think. Number-wise tell us that. Cleveland's pitching staff is going to be okay. They're going to be much more along the lines of what you saw against Fargo or perhaps maybe even Sioux Falls, maybe a hybrid of the two. But they're going to score a lot of runs. They got a guy that's going to pitch in the series at a 7.53 ERA who's 5-1. Because the teams they play give up 9 or 10 runs, and his team scores 9 or 10 runs. You're going to have some numbers like that. They have some good numbers win and loss-wise, the pitching staff, where their ERA is a little high. Where you can flip it here and see a guy like Austin Drury is 1-2, has a good ERA. And we mentioned this last night. Drury had 4 quality starts, and the team was 0-4 in his quality starts. So I think that you're going to see a very similar series what you saw in Kansas City. I don't think it's as big of a mountain to climb as we may think. I think really, you're just asking my opinion. I think that's where we go. Let's get the comments here before I get the other video I want to show you. Name the mouse contest, okay? That's a good idea. What do we name a mouse that has the ballpark to roam around? That's a good idea. We'll play that in the air tonight. That'll be a good idea. Kevin, with this week, the association like the league. Yes. Kevin, you're right. And I'll go back to what Bill Sobey, the third base coach of Kansas City, and I talked about a couple weeks ago. Add the one more asterisk to that comment. It's like the league is 3 tiers, top, middle, bottom 4. Down the bottom, take your chances of a 3-game playoff series. Exactly. And one more thing to add to that, and stay healthy, right? I would tell you that, I got some of my glasses here, that like we talked about 2 nights ago, I think Connor and I talked about this a little bit too last night in game 1. I mentioned it on Monday night. Would you rather be where the X's are now, banged up a little bit. Yes, you got some question marks. Is what's going to happen with Mitchell Verber? Is Weatherby okay? Right? Those kinds of questions. When will you get Kasser back? What's the situation with Rando? You've got 4 pieces there that they're not being used, and 2 of those pieces on the offensive side contributed, and the other 2 have been really good on the pitching side. So you've got 4 pieces. Would you rather have those pieces back in August or have them right now? Well, you could talk yourself into 2 corners here. I got them now. I'm out in front of the division, right? Or I'm knocking at second place, right? Let's say that. You can't say you're out in front, but you're up. You're probably above 500, and you're probably in second place. Maybe definitely ahead of Lincoln. Or you have them late, where you still make the postseason. It don't matter who you play, because the 2 teams in front of you, outside of Lincoln, 2 teams if you're playing Lincoln, all bets are off if Lincoln's the team you play in the first round. If they make it, all bets are off because they've got your number. But assuming it's the other 2, raise your hand if you're scared to death of those 2. I'm not. That clubhouse is not. Yes, they're really good. Don't get me wrong. Kansas City and Fargo are really, really good. Fargo's the defending champion. Kansas City is on pace to win 1,000 games this year, whatever it is. But if you're healthy in a 3-game series, I take my chances every time. And I think that's what we get to. So what Kevin says is right. It's also adding the health to it. So let's throw that there. Let's see here. Yes. One thing we might have to go in for, yes, Cleveland lost their big hitter, Sherman, but also we lost John Nagowski. I think that evens out a bit. I think the fans would like this. I think the fans would love to see Jose here. I think he was very, very likable young man. He was very. It was when Nate Sampson came back. Folks like to see him. I think there's people that want. I think maybe even more so Jose because of the MVP year he had. I mean, I think Nate is very lovable here as well. But I think the fans are robbed of that. But I think it does even out to a degree. Let's see what Kevin's got here as we go along here on the Expresso here. Yes, bus legs. I don't know. Brad Allred texted me this morning, mid-morning, and I didn't think to ask him if he was in the hotel yet because my guess is I haven't heard back from him since I texted him back. My guess is he was boarding a flight, but I don't have any idea if that's the case. Omaha being an hour and 18 minutes from the airport to here, I know that well, but I don't know. I didn't go by the hotel this morning and see if they were checked in. My guess is they probably did a hybrid of most of the team on the bus and a pitcher or 2 and others flew up. I do know this. Lincoln, by the way, on the same subject, Lincoln was in Cleburne last night. Lincoln's off today. Off day. Well, yeah, they have an off day today, but their off day is the road to Dushanbe. If you remember watching Spies Like Us, they are driving from Cleburne to Gary, Indiana, a drive I've made before, a drive that takes up a whole day of your life. I mean, I believe the year I drove that from Grand Prairie to Gary, we had 3 meal stops, I believe, a dinner stop on the way out of DFW, a stop in Little Rock later on before 10, then a breakfast stop somewhere in the middle of Illinois, and then finally getting home about 2 in the afternoon. I mean, sounds like fun, doesn't it? Ain't that much fun. So anyway, Lincoln's got the off day on the road today. They will get in Gary sometime this afternoon. They'll be off tonight, but still off day. But yeah, good stuff there, Kevin. Really good stuff. Let's see here. Should be fun though. I think from a fan's perspective, from a broadcaster's perspective, I want to see where you are. I think we determined that the X's are not Winnipeg and not Sioux Falls. We've also determined they can compete with Fargo and Kansas City, but they're not Lincoln. Where is this team? I think you'll feel much better if this team goes out and plays well and does well in the series. I think you'll feel better about the body of work. I think you'd also I think it validates your Kansas City success and your Fargo success. Because then you've got one more to really test. That's Milwaukee. If you can kind of get a revenge factor with them, I think you feel pretty good. That was a series, too. You should have won a couple ball games. I mean, there's not been a series this year, with the exception of the Sunday in Lincoln, where you didn't say we should have won one or two more. I mean, I can go back the entire. Let's just do it right now. Let's do that right now. All righty. Let's see here. Road trip to Cleveland. Extra inning loss, correct. Walk-off loss, correct. You led in two of those ball games. Should have easily split that series or won 3 of 4, okay? Milwaukee, you had an extra inning loss. You had a Sunday where Drury went, 6 innings of 2-hit ball and still lost, 2-0? Didn't get any runs. And you had actually led in Friday night's game and you led on Sunday's game. The one game it got away from was a Saturday game. That was sort of a wire-to-wire. You were down early. You kept trying to fight back. You did bat the tying runs, but you should have won 2 of those ball games. Lincoln, the first time, you had a win on a Friday. You lost remember the home run for Nagowski? Got you a lead in the 9th inning, and you wind up losing in extras. And you had the Sunday base game. Okay, now 2 of 3 there. The series of Kansas City, remember you had a 3-1 lead in game 2. 3-1 lead in game 2 in the 6th inning, I believe. Fargo, the doubleheader game, you lost 2-1. You had a 1-0 lead in the through 6. Lost it 2-1. They walked off winners. Now let's see here. Lincoln the second time, you had a lead on Friday, could not hold on. Saturday, okay, maybe that's the only series you probably should have lost on the road. Okay. So I go through those and tell you that, I mean, none of those series you went, except for one, that was just not good. The Lincoln series, the last one, was the only one. Everybody else, even the ones you won, you probably could have swept them. You should have swept them. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Anyway, optically is what I'm talking about. All right, let me give you something from Solomon again last night on the show, X's Expresso. I'm Dan Vaughn, the voice of the Explorers. We chat Explorers baseball every lunch hour. I would go over a little bit over tonight. We're just past lunch hour because I started at 12:30. But I will take your questions and comments here as I'll set the other video up and get you ready for tonight. But this was given to me yesterday. I love it. It's great stuff. The guys next door put this together. And it's Solomon Bates in 15 seconds, which I think is great because it really shows the story. I love this. So let me get this on the screen share for you. And let's screen share this. This is really the epitome of what Solomon's been doing. I mean, this is Solomon Bates. And this is really good stuff. So let me get this off the screen so we can see a little better. But I present thee, brought to you by Hawks, who has the used Solomon Bates already this year. Let's put the screen up and show this in the screen. Here we go. I present thee Solomon Bates in 15 seconds. Here we go. Look at the look on Longo's face. Let's play it again. Can I play it again? I'm going to play it again, folks. I want to play this one more time because it is good. Let's play it again. Look at the look on Mongo's face at the very end. Let's play it again. Here we go. Solomon Bates in 15 seconds. Strike out, strike out, strike out, strike out, strike out, strike out. Wow, look at the Mongo's like, wow, good stuff right there. That's Solomon Bates in 15 seconds right there. Great work for our production crew next door. Phenomenal stuff. They're doing great work. And there is Solomon Bates in 15 seconds. That is all you need to know right there. That's game 2 last night. And that's Solomon Bates. It's that's Solomon doing Solomon things right there. I used to say that about Gabby Guerrero in Kansas City. Solomon doing what Solomon does. And that's what I love about him. When he's on or when he's off, he's not afraid to throw strikes. And that's huge. We see it so many times. Guys don't have confidence enough to throw strikes, in certain situations and counts and whatever pitch they have. He has firm control of his relationship with Jimenez, and he's not afraid to throw whatever pitch, whatever count. It doesn't mean he'll be successful every time. He'll give up a home run or two now and then, but he's not afraid to throw strikes. And that's what's got him to 6-4. That's what's got him also with the strikeout potential. Has got him up there, the league leader in strikeouts with the staff that leads the league. And again, I mean, you got to feel good about what he's doing. And you know that every fifth day you got that. And, you know, this is last night. But let me ask you this question. Texas fans. Last night, if you went into a 3-game series, and let's say the two pitchers were Drury and Bates, or Bates and Drury, how would you feel about that 3-game series? I don't care who you're playing. Kansas City, Toronto Blue Jays, whoever. I don't know why the Blue Jays, but how would you feel? Feel pretty good, right? And that's the beautiful thing about what we got going on here. The starting pitching will keep you in any ball game, regardless of if you're hitting the cover at the ball or not. And all you got to do is score, in one case, 2 runs, the other one 5. You scored 7 runs and won 2 ball games. You've had a couple times where you scored 7 and lost games. That's how valuable the starting pitching's been and how good it can be. So I think what Kevin said earlier about the 3-game series, you know, and I throw Drury out there. Let's just say it's Drury and Toplikar and Bates, whoever. Then, and if you get you get Weathery back or Verber back, feel pretty good, right? So I think there's a lot to be excited about with this ball club. All right, last call and questions and comments. We saw Solomon in 15. We saw the highlights. Tonight, it's Thirsty Thursday. So let's have another coffee here. By the way, tip of the cap to you folks here in Sioux City. I thought last night would be a little bit of those classic hangovers from the holidays. We didn't have the rain. We had the rain out on Tuesday, and we had almost 1,000. I guarantee there's 1,000 people here last night. Number didn't say that, but it was a good crowd. And you know, I've been here before as a visitor on this very same day, and I expect tonight a nice night tonight, tomorrow night. By the way, on the promotions front, we moved the fireworks from Tuesday night that were rained out. They'll go tomorrow night. So the 4th of July fireworks, quote unquote, will go tomorrow night. That also includes, we'll wear those 4th of July jerseys tomorrow night. Those will be auctioned off during the ball game tomorrow. So the same auction that would have happened on Tuesday is happening tomorrow night here during the ball game. So if you're looking for a player-worn jersey and get a chance to get it signed or whatever, that's going to happen tomorrow night with our normal T-shirt night. Tomorrow night's T-shirt is Vince Fernandez, the all-star Vince Fernandez. Loaded promotional calendar this weekend. Got a lot of stuff going on. They're downstairs right now, ready to take care of you. We've also got suites available. We've got groups available, all that. Maybe you're thinking, you know what? Take the gang out. Take the company out. Maybe you, you're watching from your office. Go to the boss right now and say, you know what? I got an idea. How about let's all go to the ballpark this weekend as a group? Maybe those neighbors you fired off fireworks in the rain the other night, you guys are sitting around having a cold one, kicking it right by the garage. You're just chatting. I know my neighbors were doing this. Maybe it's, hey, instead of chatting tonight, let's all go out in the ballpark and chat out there. Or tomorrow night, or Saturday. Saturday night, we get the pennant giveaway from Aetna. Those are nice. I've seen those downstairs. They look great. Sunday's a big one. Military Day, Family Day, Bark at the Park Day. What am I missing? Kids on the Bases Day. Connor Ryan Day. He'll be here. It's all on Sunday. So big Sunday. So big week and big weekend as this homestand continues. So love to have you out. XSBaseball.com for tickets or come out the box office. I know a couple of folks have called me directly because my name was in the press release about the exchange policy and all that. If you had tickets for Tuesday night, come out and see us. I'll get those changed out for you. They're down there right now. I just saw Sam when I walked in. She's ready to go and got sorted downstairs. The crew is ready to go. So come and see us. Need a pennant for my classroom? Okay. Kevin's saying, I'll throw this out there. I won't want to be accused of being unfriendly to our brethren down south, but yeah, there's that. Hey, what I will tell you this, Sioux City fans, you can try or not try. I can tell you right now, this club and this staff, they try. And they are trying it, and they're going to do it. And what you got to remember, too, is that Tom Backmeyer didn't get his job. He didn't get his job. It's not I don't even know how to speak. I don't know how to speak. They're down south. Tom didn't take over until, February, March. That's like a manager taking over, in May, or a broadcaster in May. That's why this show didn't start until 3 weeks ago. And this is only the beginning of some really good things ahead for this ball club, and the trying and the passion. And I've told this to several people. I was interviewed about this recently, why I was here. I said passion. You can't talk to John on the phone or Mongo or Tom or that group downstairs. It's contagious. So yeah, very good point there, Kevin. I'll let Kevin just go with that. Spin up your classroom. We'll get that. John says, going to be a great couple of days of baseball. We'll see. Yes, Josh, we'll see you tonight. And we'll see Austin tonight, too. Great work, by the way, you guys upstairs. Great stuff, as always. Let's see here. What we got here? Yeah, Mojo. I would say that. Yeah. Mojo, you guys know the story of Mojo? I can give it to you real quick. You guys have ever seen the movie Friday Night Lights with Billy Bob Thornton? Okay, Mojo, yeah, it's a word. Everybody's heard of it, right? But it's actually the motto of Odessa Permian, which is the longtime West Texas powerhouse out in Odessa. Now, Odessa and Midland are night and day. Midland is kind of the buttoned up, buttoned down. Think of the George Bush connection there. Odessa is more the Oiler, the roughneck wearing the hard helmet hat. And that was kind of the working class of West Texas. And they were this football powerhouse in the middle of nowhere. And they had mojo. And mojo was always their motto. It still is. Mojo. And whatever the reason was, this town of Odessa, with Odessa Permian, had mojo going. And they had this, and that was their motto. And they used that. And you could feel when you played them, you knew there was mojo, right? Well, I would agree with what GMW is saying. There is mojo here. And maybe call it Exo or Moxie? I don't know. I'm thinking something. But there's something there. And it is. It's something there. And she's connected to me, so that does sort of make, but she also sees it. And I let her, this is honest to goodness truth here. I let her form her own opinion on everything in life. We don't agree on everything. So this is all coming from her. This is not me saying, I want her to see it, and she's been impressed. And I've told you guys about the stream. I've had people in Australia love the stream. I think we're doing some really good things here. And again, the mojo, the passion, whatever you want to call it. And it's great when you have a place where everybody that works here cares about what's going on. I'm not saying every place is like that. That doesn't mean they don't care. Doesn't mean that team A doesn't care, but I've been places where front office does this, team does this, some staff does that. And it's all a bunch of pieces that sort of are going the right direction, but not the same direction, right? They're off their own area, right? Here, everybody, Steve Montgomery cares that the fireworks didn't fire on Tuesday night. He was upset about it. He wanted a crowd. He wanted to be out. He looked forward to that. I can't speak for every manager in the league, but I can't tell you that I've worked for some managers over the years. This goes back in the early 90s where fireworks, I don't care. He cares. Passion. Your owner cares. Your front office cares. Your broadcaster cares. Your town cares. And that's very important. So anyway, I'm getting really evangelical here, which sometimes DB does. Once in a while, I get on my soapbox and preach, but I believe in the gospel of the X's. Well, another gospel too, but this is the one I do believe in too. The baseball gospel of Iowa. And yes, this is baseball heaven and can be. And you can't work up here and not hear the songbirds singing or, see Chris down there busting his tail right now on the grounds. All groundskeepers bust their tail. But here's a young man, a rookie groundskeeper out there with passion and fired up, man. And the field looks great. By the way, maybe I'm sorry. I should show you guys that. You want to see that? Let's just turn it around for you. There we go. How about that, beauty? That's a work of art, folks. That's a work of art. It's passion. That matters. That's what we do around here. All right. Enough of me. Enough of my evangelical self, right? Dan is I need a white suit like the Gemstones and go around and preach the gospel of the X's around the area, right? That's what I need. Anyway, there's my friend Kaylin from down in Texas. The grass does look amazing. Have you noticed too that here in this area, the grass is so green? Maybe it's because I came from a place where the grass is so yellow and it's so hot. But I'm walking the dog yesterday morning, and it's like a different green that you just don't see that green anywhere. Anyway, another time, another place. We'll be back on with you guys tomorrow at lunch. Tomorrow I will be at Hawks. I'll do my show there tomorrow at lunchtime, right at noon. We'll be on time tomorrow, I promise. Tonight, Gates will swing at 6, Thursday. That is those dollar specials and the drinks. You don't want to miss it. Cleburne, a great test for this ball club. They're really good. I think we're getting better, and I think we're on the way. And this could be one of those situations where, we look up at a time from now, and this was the series. I really believe this is a team that will be a real good test for us. And if we can pull off some wins here and look good doing it, or just pull off wins. I mean, you're going to look good if you win, right? It should be good. Tonight, Hantar Tokar, I had the game notes. Let me see. Let me reach here. Did I throw them away? I guess I tossed them from yesterday. Oh, I know where they're at. Sorry, they're on my screen here. Pardon me real quick. Where are we? Here we go. Game notes. We expect to see Travis Perry. He's 3-4 at a 5.00. Hatar Tokar tonight 2-1 at a 5.64. Tomorrow's a TBA spot. That will be Casey Kalich. He's 2-1. He's really good. He's been their ace performer number wise. 3.85 against TBA. That'll be Friday. Saturday, Cody Buller, left-hander. We saw him before, 5-1 at 7.53. A lot of run support. Trenton Tuplikar. That'll be a good matchup. By the way, Trent was a great interview last night. The Dugout Report. It's good stuff as well. And then Kevin Hilton will close for them. Austin Drury on the Sunday affair. And then we'll be in Lake Country. Expect Salmon to get the nod there in the first game of that road trip. And we'll see Salmon twice on that swing there in Lake Country, and also to close it out there in Fargo next weekend. So that's the way it looks right now. But again, that's subject to change. We could always change, right? Always can change. So, all righty. Appreciate you joining me today. Our friends at Hawks. And then one more plug that they are. They're in Sergeant Bluff. They are legend. Ask for the X's special or the X's Expresso. Ask them. They'll get you hooked up. It's right here. This is it. This is a cold brew with a s'mores cold foam on top. It's delicious. Thanks to Solomon Bates for the creation. Good stuff. All righty. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody stopping by. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for being a part of what we're doing here. A lot of love to you guys, and, we just keep doing what we're doing. Beautiful Iowa. It is heaven. It's baseball heaven. We're right here in baseball heaven here in Sioux City. All right, tonight, airtime on the radio side and the A baseball. By the way, our crew, when I go on, they go on. They don't mess around. So you'll get the A baseball. If you're on A baseball, pregame begins at 6:35. Also in KSCJ, you're home for Explorers Baseball all season long right here in Sioux City, Iowa. That airs at 6:35. Steve Montgomery will join me tonight, get caught up We expect some roster news this afternoon. I'll get you that today with him and get you caught up, ready to go tonight. We'll also flashback and have on this date and all the other little segments we do, pitching and the starting lineups, all that coming on the pregame show beginning at 6:35 from here at Mercy One Field at Lewis and Clark Park. All right. We went real long today. DB, got the stage. All right, I'll see you guys in the broadcast tonight. Ready for some 1, 2, 3, go X's? I'm ready. You're ready. We're all ready. Here we go. Ron's ready. I don't put you up on the screen there because you're ready. You're way ahead of the game. There we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go X's. I'll see you in the broadcast. Night, everybody.